Hello students and welcome to the geography class of standard 6. Today in this video we are going to learn about the natural resources and how we use them in our day-to-day life. This is the first part of the lesson. Let us have a quick look at the learning objectives. The learning objectives are natural resources, air, soil, formation of soil, and water. Let us have a small activity. Observe and think about the pictures given on the slide and answer the following questions. First question, what do you see in the pictures? Second, how many of these animals or plants do you know? Third, which of these things have you seen in reality? Fourth, have you ever used these things or seen them being used? Fifth, which of our needs do some of these fulfill? I'm sure you all must have at least recognized mango, cotton, horse, and octopus. And we know the uses of these things. Cotton is used for making clothes, mango is used for eating as a fruit, horse is used for riding, and octopus is a type of fish. But other things maybe you must have not identified. Find more information about the things you could not identify. Natural resources. We see many things on the earth. Some of these are quite familiar to us. However, we do not necessarily use all of them. We have learned to use some of the things that are available in nature. For example, water. The natural things that man uses are called natural resources. All the natural things which are available in nature, which man has not made, which nature has created for our use, are all natural resources. Man fulfills his needs using these natural resources. Whatever needs we have, our basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, all these basic needs are especially dependent on the natural resources. We cannot have food without depending on nature. We get food from nature and then we can make different food items, but those are all with the help of nature only. Clothing, whether we use silk or cotton or any kind of fabric, we get the material necessary for making the particular cloth from the nature. And shelter, even if we live in concrete houses, we definitely use water, we use wood, we use different furnitures or different things that are necessary, and they all are achieved from or acquired from nature. Air, water, soils, land, minerals, plants and animals are all natural resources. Most of the natural resources are limited in nature. Therefore, they are invaluable. If we are using natural resources without any care for them, if we are using them without thinking, we are carelessly using them, then definitely they are going to get depleted. For example, natural gas or petroleum or water, these things are not available in abundance. So we need to take care of these natural resources because they are invaluable. You cannot pay money for these resources and get it from anywhere. Once it is gone or once it is polluted, we cannot acquire them back. So it is our duty to take care of all these natural resources. Now there are some natural resources which are very essential. Those we will be doing in the following sessions. Air. Air is such a resource that is available in plenty. This resource never depletes. However, its quality can change. We need air for various purposes, right from breathing to burning. Air is everywhere. Though we cannot see it, we need it for our livelihood. We cannot live without air. And though it is available in plenty, the quality of air changes because there is a lot of pollution around. We see a lot of pollution because of factories or because of uh, traffic and because of firecrackers, because of smoke, and this pollution is affecting the quality of air. The air will be always in abundance. We will always have sufficient air, but the quality of air will also change in coming years because of the increasing pollution. So it is very necessary that air should be kept fresh for the coming generations, and that can be only done if we restrict pollution. Let us have another activity. Observe all the pictures given on the slide. We can see a donkey carrying some load. In the second picture, we see a man drawing water from the well. In the third picture, we see a man plowing the land. And in fourth picture, we can see a man fishing with his net. In all the four pictures, we see humans using natural resources for their benefit. Soil. In the previous slide, a man was seen plowing the land. The farmer plows the soil layer and makes the land cultivable. In this cultivable land, he grows various crops and fulfill his own and others' needs for food. For this purpose, he uses the soil that is naturally available on land as a resource. Soil is used all over the world, and therefore soil is a very important source for agriculture. Though we give little importance to agriculture, and especially farmers, they work a lot day and night, but they don't get the wages that they deserve. But agriculture is a very important occupation, and agriculture is mostly dependent on soil. If there was no proper soil, if there was no proper cultivation, cultivable soil, we would never get good crops, and it would indirectly impact the shortage of food or the availability of crops in the market. So soil is very essential and it plays a very important role for agriculture. Formation of soil. Soil formation mainly depends on the original rock, climate, organic components, slope of the land, and time. According to the types of rocks and climates in different regions, different types of soil are formed. Soil minerals form the basis of soil. They are produced from rocks through the process of weathering and natural erosion. Water, wind, temperature change, gravity, chemical reaction or chemical interaction, living organisms, and pressure differences all help down to break the rocks. A long period is required for the formation of mature soil, as it is a very slow process. A period of about 1,000 years may be required for development of a 2.5 centimeter thick layer of soil. Water. Right from the time we get up in the morning, we keep on using water till we go to bed at night. We use water for different purposes. We use it for washing, for cleaning, for drinking, for cooking, for gardening, for irrigation, and for different purposes. Also, the activities like fishing are mainly dependent on water. This shows how important water is as a natural resource. The entire living world depends on this resource. And this living world includes not only humans but also animals and birds and all the different types of reptiles, and everybody need water. So water is a very essential component and it is available in plenty. But how much is it actually available in, that we will understand in the next slide. But we can also include the salt that we get from seawater is also an important commodity that we get from water, and we make use of salt in our day-to-day life. How the salt is formed and the formation of salt in the salt pans is already explained in the previous chapter. Global water reserve and availability. Observe the diagram carefully. The total water on the earth is 100%, which is shown in the diagram, out of which usable water on the earth is 3%, but the water available on the earth for use is 0.003%. Water is available in huge quantities on earth. Of this, a large quantity is salty, and that's why we cannot use it or we cannot drink it directly. Only some quantity of the total water is usable. We can actually use it for our purposes because the rest of the water is salty. And a very meager quantity, meager is very little quantity, that is 0.003% of water is available for use. However, even this much water is sufficient for all of us. Okay, the whole world is using water for different purposes. We use water for drinking, but we should note this fun fact that the water that we are using or the water that we are drinking is only 0.003% of the total water available on the earth. This shows how much actually the earth is covered with water. But we should also know that this water is also getting polluted because of the wastage that is put in the water, or the sewage, the drainage, and all the plastic waste that is left in the sea water is contaminating the water that is available for use. And if this percentage is going lower and lower, then definitely in the coming years we will experience the shortage of water. Students, now, whatever I'm going to tell you is not included in the lesson, but it is important for all of us to understand the importance of water and soil and use it wisely. Water is a renewable resource. We will not run out of water, but the amount of water on earth is definitely going to change. However, most of the planets, water is unavailable for human use. While more than 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, only 2.5% of it is fresh water. Out of that fresh water, almost 70% is permanently frozen in Antarctica and Greenland. Only about 1% of the fresh water on Earth is available for people to use for drinking, bathing, and irrigating crops. People in many regions of the world suffer water shortages. These are caused by depletion of underground water sources and lack of rainfall due to drought or pollution of water supplies. More than 5 million people die each year from diseases caused by using polluted water for drinking, cooking, or washing. Polluted water hurts the environment as well as people. So it is responsibility of all of us to take care of water. People can conserve and protect water supplies in many ways. Okay, we can use these ways and we can do our bit. Conservation of soil. We have learned that soil is vital to food production. We need high quality of soil to grow the crops that we eat. Soil is also important to plants that grow in the wild. Many other types of conservation efforts, such as plant conservation and animal conservation, depend on soil conservation. Poor farming methods, such as repeatedly planting the same crop in the same place, or depleted nutrients in the soil, all these affect the soil. Soil erosion by water and wind increases when farmers plow up and down hills. One soil conservation method is called contour strip cropping. Okay, in this, several crops such as corn, wheat, and clover are planted in alternative strips across a slope, and different crops with different root systems and leaves help slow down the erosion. So these are some methods we can use to conserve the soil rather than reducing its fertility. Now let us have a short recap of what we learned in this video today. We see many things on the earth. Some of these are quite familiar to us. However, we do not necessarily use all of them. We have learned to use some of the things that are available in nature. For example, water. The natural things that man uses are called natural resources. Man fulfills his needs using these natural resources. Air, water, soils, land, minerals, plants, and animals are all natural resources. Most of the natural resources are limited in nature. Therefore, they are invaluable. Of these, air is such a resource that it is available in plenty. This resource never depletes. However, its quality can change. We need air for various purposes, right from breathing to burning. The farmer plows the soil layer and makes the land cultivable. In this cultivable land, he grows various crops and fulfills his own and others' need for food. For this purpose, he uses the soil that is naturally available on land as a resource. Soil is used all over the world, and therefore soil is a very important resource for agriculture. Soil formation mainly depends on the original rock, climate, organic components, slope of the land, and time. According to the types of rocks and climates in different regions, different type of soils are formed. Soil minerals form the basis of soil. They are produced from rocks through the process of weathering and natural erosion. Water, wind, temperature change, gravity, chemical interaction, living organisms, and pressure differences all help break down the rocks. A long period is required for the formation of mature soil, or the soil which is easily available for use, as it is a very slow process. A period of about 1,000 years may be required for development of a 2.5 centimeter thick layer of soil. Right from the time we get up in the morning, we keep on using water till we go to bed at night. Man uses water for fishing, for drinking, for washing, for cleaning, and also for irrigation, and also for different purposes. This shows how important water is as a natural resource. The entire living world depends on this resource. We also obtain salt from seawater. We make use of salt in our day-to-day life. Important fact: The water is available in huge quantities on earth. Of this, a large quantity is salty. Usable water on the earth is only 3%. Only some quantity of the total water is usable, but a very few quantity, that is only 0.003% of water, is available for use. However, even this much water is sufficient for all of us. The remaining part of the lesson, or the second half of the lesson, will be continued in the second video. Thank you for watching the video.